Good evening, everybody. Welcome. Welcome. Tonight is I was about to say showcase, but of course it's not exactly the showcase. We've done the space showcase. Tonight is a spotlight on our space program. I'm Corey Olsen, president of Signum University, joined by Rob Gosselin, director of our space program. Good evening, Rob. How are you?
Good evening, Corey. Very well, thank you.
Good, good. Yeah. So tonight we are going to talk about space. We're going to talk about some of the exciting things that are coming up. We've been making a lot. You've been doing so much work in making some improvements and innovations in space, and we really want to share with people what's happening, what's going on, and what's coming up in space, and how the whole space experience is going to be changing in some ways, which are going to be really exciting for folks to see. So first, I want to start off big picture, right? I want to talk about sort of the overall vision for space. You've been you and I from the beginning have been sort of the pioneers of space, and
3 years ago.
3 years ago. Yeah,
December.
It's crazy to think. Yeah, we launched our first ever space modules 3 years ago in December. Yep.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. That was awesome. So the core idea of the space program is to give people an opportunity to learn. I remember, making this joke back 3 years ago when I was telling people, I was like, yeah, space, it's like everything that you love about school and nothing you don't. That's the whole point of space, to try to give people an opportunity to learn stuff that they want to learn for fun. Like this is not about so much in our educational system. And this is true in America. I believe in Canada as well. That so much of the educational world is fixated on pragmatism, right? That like learning and studying, going to school for things is it's all job training, right? Like that's the point of education is developing skills that you can use in jobs. And it's not that that's not important, and one does need to do that sort of thing. But for me, one of the initial purposes behind doing space, the kind of the concept that got me excited about it in the first place, was to have a place which is open to everyone, where anybody can come and learn what they want to learn, to bring the joy back into education for everybody, because learning is one of the most respectable kinds of, hobbies that you can have, right? There's so many things that are fun to learn, things that you've always wanted to learn or always wanted to kind of indulge in and dig in further and discuss with people who are as excited about it as you are. But it's not practical, right? So, you're not gonna get a chance to do it elsewhere, or you're not gonna, pay big tuition to go to another school and stuff to do this. But space gives people the opportunity to do this, right? To kind of dig into stuff.
And it gives our faculty, our preceptors, the opportunity to teach what they are passionate about.
Yes.
And to a global audience. Really, we're trying to connect in space and in Signum. That's one of our goals. It's been since the beginning.
Yeah.
We want to reach the global community of learners, right? So yeah.
Yes, exactly. And it's one of the things that's been really fun for me to watch from the beginning, because it's one of those things that like I didn't expect it. Like it wasn't part of my plan, how I expected things to happen. But once I saw it happening, I was like, yeah, I should have expected that. And that is how many of the people who took classes with us in the first few months then went on to propose and teach classes after that. As you say, like the opportunity, providing the opportunity for people to be able to teach this stuff that they love to. Because again, like most of education, professional education is focused on job prep. So when you have things that you've studied and that and that you love digging into, but which there's just not much call for on a professional base. Like, it's that not many jobs require this as a skill. I mean, I think of one of the early examples of this was Sean Gaffney and his hieroglyphics classes, right?
Egyptian here. Yeah.
And look, so studying Egyptian hieroglyphics, there aren't that many job applications that are going to ask if you, I mean, there's not none, but there aren't many.
It's so right? Cool to learn about.
It's so cool to learn about. And again, it's the educational world is not brimming over with opportunities to teach that either, because it's, again, because of the way that our educational system is oriented in that way. Anyway, so that's been a really, really fun part of watching the SPACE program grow. But Rob, I know one of the things that was always a major focus of our vision for this program of not just kind of why we were doing it, but how we meant to do it, right? This was sort of the challenge that you and I sat down with from the beginning and said, okay, here's what we want to do. Can we figure out how to do it, right? And the thing that we wanted to do was to make a student-driven thing, because it's so wide open, right? Because we're not trying to design a program which is designed to give you, this certain list of skills to qualify for these certain jobs. It's meant to be completely open for people to learn what they want to learn. But how do we know what people want to learn, right? I mean, we can determine that. That is to say, we can determine what we want to teach. We can offer some things, and I'm sure many people would be interested in those things. But from the beginning, our vision was always, no, what would be really awesome is to develop a system whereby we can make this really student-driven, where the interest of our students can really determine what we offer. So that we can really be responding to because we knew there were going to be things that people would be interested in that we didn't think of, right? That we didn't even consider. And if it were just left to us to set a curriculum, and roll out a series of modules regularly, would have occurred to us to offer some things that people would want. And knowing the kind of resources that we had available to us within our community of people who could teach, right? The kind of academic resources that we had to us. I knew that most everything that anybody wanted to learn, we could probably, find somebody who could teach it. And so trying to do that. But of course, this challenge is to actually make a student-driven, that sounds easy when it as a catchphrase, right? Oh yeah, I mean, most schools already say, they're like, oh yes, we're student-driven, and I'm like, really? Actually? I bet you in fact make your own curriculum in advance without asking the students first, right? So, yeah, this was the kind of well, I was gonna say paradox, but yeah, it's there's this sort of intrinsic challenge, right? Where on the one hand, you can create something that's totally responsive to student interest if you just make it asynchronous, right? I mean, if we were just to if the whole goal were we were just trying to build a whole bunch of resources for people to watch at their own pace or something, then yeah, we could develop a process where people request stuff and we're like, all right, we'll produce it, whatever. That's comparatively simple. But of course, that's not the heart of what SPACE is. The real classroom experience, right? That's what we're wanting to give people. It was for people who wanted to have that kind of experience, to really dig in with teachers and fellow students and study things. But of course, how can you have a synchronous classroom environment where you're getting real people together in real time, and yet do that in a way that is actually responding, to give people a catalog where they can choose, and yet we're able to offer that. And as an additional challenge, that we're doing this for students across the world in a dozen different time zones as
Any
well.
time zone. Yeah, right.
Right. So all of those challenges. So this was for me the most fun part is, Rob and I kind of talked about this and we're like, yeah, this would be awesome, but it's going to be really hard. And then I was like, yep, Yeah, great. So thanks, Rob. You take that over and you figure that out.
2022, and yeah, we actually just had to work with preceptor schedules, right?
Yep. Yeah, originally.
And the practical challenges
Yeah.
of us. Yeah, yes, but at the core, you're right. We've always in space had student we've wanted students to decide what courses get chosen, what courses
Right.
get on the great space menu, right? And so we had, of course, from the beginning, our candidate
That's right.
process, right?
The candidating
So
process.
we would put forward, like, if we were to rewind back 3 years ago, we put forward 30 different course options, and we had students pare that down, right?
Yeah.
And share with us, okay, well, we'd love these, and then the scheduling happens, and we got 5 courses. We got 5 courses in December, and lo and behold, but a year later, we were already into 15 courses per month, right?
Yes.
So yes, it was amazing. But
Yeah.
as time went on, as we grew, the practical challenge of like,
Yeah, the more
yeah.
students you have, the harder it is to do all this. And I remember, but I remember even from that very first month, the challenges we were facing. I set up this really, really simple system where I was like, just have people can kind of vote. Here are the options. People tell us what they're interested in and we'll figure it out. And of course, the first thing we got, right, was like 15 people. We had like 15 different classes, each of which had like 2 votes. And we're like,
Right.
okay, all right, this is going to be tricky. We got to figure this out, right? And this is where, of course, as Sparrow suggests, of course, you make a spreadsheet, right? Which is, of course, like, yes, we did make a spreadsheet.
Sure.
But yeah, the process of working that out. But the theory though of how we've addressed this challenge, right, and how this stuff works, although you have been continually innovating the mechanisms, how we collect this information from students, how we communicate this with students. It's something that you and the other folks on your team, Jenny and Sparrow and Pilar, have been really wonderful in working with. But the theory is comparatively simple, right? It's basically like a 4-category process, right? First, we start with the modules that we can theoretically offer. Like this is the concept, right? The concept of what modules we can offer. This is based on mostly suggestions that we have from our preceptors, right? Our preceptors will say like, they some of them have suggested
Across our 4
like
categories. So
right.
we should mention our sectors.
We should mention our sectors, right? Well, because people
Yeah.
have suggested like dozens and dozens of modules to you, right? Like our preceptors will send you lists of things that they want to teach.
So much so that if we could go back to just last summer, we had 700 possible concepts,
Right.
like course concepts.
Yeah. Things that people have said, I would love to teach a module on that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have our 4 sectors. So we've got fantasy studies, we've got language courses,
Yeah.
we've got creative writing, and we've got general humanities. So preceptors were submitting all kinds of amazing modules.
Yeah.
Concepts,
And right. Yeah.
up to where we had 700 last summer, and so it's been we have some exciting things to share later today, but it's been quite a story of wanting to keep this student driven, having wonderful growth where students become preceptors as well. We've had that, where we're learning, like our motto is learn what you love with others who love it for the sheer joy of it. And last year when we did a broadcast, December, I called it the candy store of Signum. Space is the candy store of Signum. It's been delicious. Our courses have been amazing, but we always want to go back to that. We want to stay true to what's been at the heart of just like having students, their dreams come true, like in what courses we can offer, and to make that more possible. So we have had, like, since a few months into space, the wish listing opportunity. So we had students wish listing 70 plus courses, right? And
right. I want to do them all.
It's a challenge when you have 700 options.
Yes,
right?
it is.
How does one navigate this challenge?
Exactly. Okay, right. So the the theory then, right? The theoretical, like the process that needs to happen is to we start with the concepts, right? Again, there's like the 700 possibilities of what we can do. And then from concepts, they have to move into candidates, which are, this is what, so when something becomes a candidate, that's us communicating to students to say, okay, we're like this, if we get enough students, we're ready to run with this, right? We just have to make sure that we have enough students who want to take it, right? And so the candidacy step is, so the concept step is the brainstorming step, right? And then the candidating step is the logistical step, right? Like, can we run this right now? Do we have enough students to run it in this coming month? You know, is that something that's going to work out? Because if we don't have enough students, we can't afford to run it, because we're, you know, we've got to make sure that that'll work out, because we pay our teachers and stuff. So, you know, like that seems like a strange thing to say, but honestly, I feel like sometimes people kind of forget that, you know, that like it's you know, we do have to make ends meet when it comes to that. So it is. So candidates. So candidates, yeah. So the candidates are where we are.
Students
we're working out.
Yes. To say, I am ready for this one. And so normally we would have them vote with a token, and that is their claim on I want to see this run. Yeah. And so we would put forward 15-ish candidates, and they would vote on out of a list. Our monthly voting.
This is the one that I want to take if it runs, or like this is my backup if that one doesn't run, is kind of the system that we used to have, right? Yeah, exactly. Different priorities. And so that's how, based upon that kind of student input, is how we would be able to move things from the candidate stage to the confirmed stage, right? We're like, okay, we know we have enough students to make this class run in this coming month. So we're officially confirming this class is 100% happening during this coming month or whatever. And then it was a confirmed module, and people could still sign up for it, of course, all the way up until when it began. And then of course, that's the final step when it's an actual class, right? When it's actually, now running. We're in the month and the meetings are happening, and people are talking about, they've got a class that starts in half an hour from now, for instance. Like, yes. Like that's our December classes are running right now, are our classes, right? So that's the way, there have been changes to mechanisms and stuff over the years, but conceptually speaking, that's the flow, right? From concepts, brainstorming what we want to teach, to candidates, to confirmed modules, to the classes that are actually running.
Excuse me, Corey. Yeah. I better go. I have got Japanese class. No, just kidding. I'm not able to go to wonderful Dr. Steed's Japanese class, but yes, that is running right now.
That is running right now, yes.
If we have students among you, if you need to catch class, we understand.
Playing hooky. If you're watching, we're going to record it. You can watch it later. Go study Japanese with Dr. Steed, because that is awesome. Yeah. So that's been, of course, he is one of our preceptors who's been precepting since 3 years ago this month, and has been doing this marvelous series of East Asian stuff. It's such a wonderful illustration of things. I remember talking with Robert years ago about, when he was like, oh, we should do East Asian fantasy studies in the graduate program at Signum. And I was like, that would be fun, but I'm not sure. Like, I mean, like did we have enough demand? Could we really integrate it as a regular part of our curriculum? Like that, it was a whole bigger set of questions with our graduate program. But as soon as we had the idea of space, I went right to Robert, and I'm like, Robert, the time is now for East Asian studies at Signum. This is going to be cool.
Amazing. Because yes, this has been a community that has grown through space, through wonderful folks like Dr. Steed. Like, our East Asian studies is just a wonderful community of folks now.
Languages, film, literature, all kinds of things that we've been able to do there. Philosophy and religion as well. Some cultural studies. It's been very cool. And again, just one example of the different kinds of things. And again, stuff that was hard to squeeze in anywhere else, and yet space was the perfect home for it. Okay, so thinking about this process, right? This process about how we succeed in building this kind of program, right? How we end up achieving this, pursuing what students want. Again, I come back to the East Asian Studies thing as an example, right? Rob came and he was like, hey, can I teach some East Asian stuff? And I'm like, sure, we'll see how people respond to it. And people responded to it and have been demanding all these other things. We've had several rounds of Japanese classes and, series of anime classes and literature stuff and everything. And all of these things keep coming around because of how students have been responding to that. So we're able to pursue that, including adding other things like the Korean language classes that we've started relatively recently. And we're doing some Mandarin classes now too, as well.
Yes, right.
So, lots of things that, and again, that's just been us, the systems that you've been developing, Rob, that enable us to find out what students want and to give them that in space. So this is one of the kind of key things to keep in mind as I'm gonna show you now some of these new processes, because the thing that we're really excited to announce tonight and show everybody is the Launchpad system, which is really, it's the latest version of the mechanisms that Rob, you have developed to help us to achieve this goal, to really empower our students to tell us what they want and to help to guide our courses so that we're offering all of the things that people most want to do. And I suppose it is, of course, very right that, as I know you would want to do, Rob, to pause for a moment and thank the wonderful James Tauber and all of the work that he has done. We're going to be showing you here our Blackberry system. Everyone who's taken a space class is at least a little bit familiar with Blackberry. And Blackberry, of course, was designed and programmed for us by James Tauber of Digital Tolkien Project fame. And Rob, I know you've been working very closely with James on the development of Blackberry from its beginning, which was several months after space launched.
Sarah mentioned spreadsheets, and space can only live on spreadsheets for only so long. And,
yes.
In March of 2022, James helped create Blackberry, and just such a wonderful guy. We meet weekly, and we try to make space just more accessible through Blackberry to whether you're a student, preceptor, part of our admin team. It's been amazing. And just before this call, James helped move another thing that we'll show you.
Yes.
So it's amazing what he's been able to do and make possible through Blackberry. Yeah.
Awesome. So again, in the kind of tour that we'll give here, again, I just want to emphasize what all of this is just ways to let you guys tell us what you want to take. That's the whole purpose of this. And I will emphasize that there are kind of like two different I don't know how to call it, categories, two different kinds of space students. Like, for those people who don't want to be involved in the like backstage stuff, that's totally okay. Like, if you just want to come and see like, hey, what classes are being offered next month? What can I sign up for right now? You can absolutely do that, right? That one is really simple. Hey, I'll start with that one. So if you go to Blackberry, here you log into Blackberry, blackberry.signumuniversity.org. So you create a login here and log in. If the first thing you do on your space thing down here is just click on enroll in confirmed modules. This just gives you a list of by month of the modules that are coming up. These are the courses that are happening. The December ones are already going right now. So you can see these are all the modules that are currently running. So many cool things.
And how they got their start was they were once candidates.
Candidates. Yep. Yep. And then we've got
student body voted on this. So the wonderful courses would only be here if because our students voted. Yeah.
Oh, so beginning Japanese is up to month 10 in their series now, and we've got so Dr. Barr's up to the Chapter House Dune. Okay, I remember when he started the Dune series, and that's been going for months now. Cool, right? The of course, wonderful creative writing series. This is the last month of the novel in a year series, right? Which has been going through all of 2024. That's been a huge thing all year long.
Amazing.
Intermediate Old English, right? Awesome. Right at the beginning of Japanese as well. Medieval drama. With Dr. Daly. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Japanese films. Look at that. Films of Shinkai Makoto. Look at that. By Nancy Fosberg. Great.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, cool. Oh, yes, and the Poetic Corpus of J.R.R. Tolkien. I'm involved in that. Blackberry is reminding me. Very good. And then you've got stuff coming up in January. So again, like this list, again, enroll and confirmed modules. This just gives you the ones. These are the classes that are definitely happening. So you can see there. You can see like the schedule, so you can know whether or not it fits in your schedule. And all you have to do is just click to enroll, and it's you have to buy the tokens. And then you one token per class to enroll in the classes, and off you go. So this is like the simplest way. But again, the limitation here is like this is a fun menu. I mean, as you say, candy store, there's lots of really, really fun stuff going on here. But you don't have any, if this is all you do, then you don't have any say, right? If you want to help to deter, and so not only the limitation of this kind of thing, I'm just browsing the list, is that you don't have any input on which classes are offered. And you also don't have any input, and this is very important, and a lot of people ask about this, you also don't have any input on when the classes happen, right? Yeah. So maybe one of these, you're like, oh my gosh, look at this,
but that time doesn't work for me.
Yeah. Exactly. Like a module on Howard Shore's Fellowship of the Ring score. Oh man, I've always wanted to dig into Howard Shore more deeply, with someone who really knows what he's talking about. That's great. And Jack Schabert, who's phenomenal. He gave a lovely talk at Middlemoot just a couple of months ago. Just got to meet him in Kansas City a few months back. Anyway, so like that sounds great, but then you look at it and you're like, oh no, but I can't make that time, right? Yeah. Like that time doesn't work for me. Maybe because of your own work schedule, or maybe because you live in New Zealand, who knows? But so those are the limitations. That's the sort of the downside of being merely a passive consumer of the list of upcoming modules, right? So this is, again, it's a perfectly fine thing to do, but if you want to,
we don't just want to do.
We don't just want to do that. We want to make it possible for people to
one person in New Zealand to be able to be part of a class that works at their time zone.
Yeah, that's it. So now, first of all, let's talk about the time zone thing. So right at the beginning, right when you sign up for your account, right, even before you do anything else, one of the things you should do is tell us your availability, right? Because Blackberry can figure this out, right? Yeah. So if I click on time zone and availability here, up in my account, I can set this. So I can say, okay, here's what my time zone is, right? Which happens to be US Eastern, right? But I can go through and pick my time zone. And then I can just pick, these are the times when theoretically I would be available for classes, right? Within my time zone. So I would, like if this were me, I would be choosing very sensible time. Like I am certainly available, starting at 1 a.m. and 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. on most days, because that's a sensible time to take classes, in my opinion, right? And if that's not sensible for you, well, that's fine. You do your own, right? Like I'm doing me, right? And this is what we're...
person in New Zealand.
Exactly. The Australians and I are going to be signing up for classes together, and that's great. Exactly. Sparrow says Corey's in the Australia cohort. That's just it. Yeah. Anyway, so you can set these and be like, oh, wait, no, but I'm not available. I mean, I'm available at 1 a.m. and every day. But anyway, so you just set these and then you save it and then they're entered in the system, right? And if your schedule changes for some reason, then you can go in, you can edit it, and you can revise it and stuff. But this way, if you tell Blackberry when your availability is, then a lot of the stuff that we're going to show later on is going to take that stuff into account automatically.
Yes, exactly. Right? And just another keynote, just that note for schedules.
Yes.
Schedule. Just. If you move up a little bit, note for our scheduling team. To include a note there, if you've got something particular or peculiar that you want to share with us, we take all of that information and we deeply care about it to try and make it possible.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you have this opportunity to just write prose. It's not just about clicking boxes. It's also just explaining. So yeah, if you've got, you may look at this and be like, well, this is hard because like I'm available Tuesdays and Thursdays, but not the third Thursday of a month because that's, whatever. Explain, right? It's the time. It's time to put that, like I'm taking, I have to take my kids to their, polka accordion lessons at that time on that day of the month. So I can't do it, whatever. Like you can do all that stuff. Yes, Sparrow says we really do read that note for the schedulers. It really helps. Absolutely. Oh, and Iriel, it is a myth. It is a popular myth that I never sleep. That's not true. What you will not see me selecting are the 8 and 9 a.m. slots. These are the ones that you will generally not seeing me clicking on. Yeah, because that is in fact when I sleep. But anyway, okay. So setting the time zone thing. So this is just personal to you. You say what your schedule is and when you're available, and then we'll know. Now, okay. So again, thinking about that process, right? Concepts to candidates to confirms to classes, right? So yes. We have now the new system, which is the Launchpad, right? Mm-hmm. So so where should I start, Rob? Tell me how to go about it, because I can see things like the current and upcoming modules, but I think I want to start from scratch.
New on the nav.
Yes, the new on the nav, which is the Launchpad to shortlist upcoming courses. So, okay, so this is about that first step, right? Taking things that are concepts and pushing them forward into actual candidates, right?
Right. Now, until now, the only way you could be part of choosing what gets selected has been if you have a token and right. You vote on a candidate. And so we'll be explaining this page and we're very excited about what we can do here now.
This is a huge step because again, we think about that process, right? Where we always had, where we were student driven was between candidate and confirmation, right? We had, we would offer a list of, we'd guess and offer a list of candidates, right? But we were kind of guessing, right? We're guessing and offering a list of candidates and then letting students pick which of those candidates do they want to do. And that has always been student driven, right? Based on student interest. But the exciting thing about the Launchpad is you're pushing it back a step, right? Yeah. Now, in addition to having students determining which of the candidates are confirmed, they're also now determining which of the concepts get put forward as candidates in the first place.
That's right. That's right. When our list of modules grew to 700, I could do my best guess through the many wish listing right. Options that folks put forward, but it's now it's even more powerful. We can put forward on our Launchpad list.
Yeah.
And so this is a list of, I think we have between 30 and 35 courses here that we're asking our whole community and anyone interested in space to help us shortlist this. Now,
and this is a list that's going to be, this will be changing as time goes on?
This will be changing. It's going to stay just like this. Mm-hmm. And our message is, please help us shortlist by the end of December. Choose your shortlist items. And so we'll talk through a little bit. You can choose up to 5 here, okay. But it's kind of like a handshake. There's no token involved, right. But I'm calling it the space handshake for now.
Handshake,
because
right? Okay.
There is a level of commitment, and we'll talk
right.
about that.
Because all right. So these are all concepts. These are all things that we can offer, but we're gonna see what people want to do, right? So okay. So
and this is for winter 2025.
Winter 2025 list. Okay.
We want our community's help. Yeah.
So we could do any of these things. So I'm gonna go through right now, and I'm gonna say, okay, let's see. There's the Viking World. That's totally on my short list. Okay. So there's the Viking World. There's Beginning Quenya. With Patrick Lyon. Oh yeah. Okay. That's on my short list. Let's see. What else shall we do?
Launch those courses. He's shortlisting them. This is the Launchpad. And we keep launched. Join us. If you shortlist the same items as Corey, just wait.
That's it. Okay. Greek for beginners. Totally. Who's teaching that? Dr. Swain.
Oh, yeah. I know. This is the candy store. I know you want to take many, but you have to be Collective.
Okay, so I've got to choose 5. Let's see. Japanese for beginners. Japanese for beginners. And let's see. Okay. I would choose Sir Gawain and the Green Knight text translation and film. That would be especially fun because that's taught by Dr. Liam Daly, who I think read Sir Gawain and the Green Knight for the first time in a class taught by me. So, when he was an undergraduate. So that would be, I would vote for that for the full circle experience. But I can't click on any more because I must have chosen 5.
For that, you would shortlist that.
It's a short, because I'm restricted to 5, because if I just go through and click on anything that's remotely interesting, I haven't helped you at all, because I've just said that
the wish list challenge.
The wish list challenge, right? If I wish list all 40 of them, then okay, all right. But hang on, but I can order them here, right? So I just clicked on them as I was reading through. But if I want to choose, oh golly, so now, but I should do this, right? I should prioritize them in like actual priority order.
That's right. So we're then asking if you've got more than one on your short list, please put near the top the ones you most want to, that you care about the most.
Yeah.
So set the priority order, because that's going to help us make decisions on what we can offer amongst our.
Gosh, this is hard. But okay. All right, good. This is the problem with candy stores. This is always the problem with candy stores.
That's right.
Okay. All right. I think I have now. This one is a cluster. So the Viking world is not actually a class. The others are classes, right? Well, I assume Greek for beginners and Japanese for beginners and even maybe beginning Quenya are probably going to be the beginning of multi-month series, possibly.
That's right. So if you hover over series, for example, like at the top right of a card.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Non-sequential series. Okay.
Yeah, you can see. Yeah, whether it's a series that has a multi-month sequential.
So that means that Pilar's offering a bunch of art history classes, but they're not necessarily one is not a prerequisite of the others.
Exactly. No prerequisites if it's a non-sequential.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I see. Cool. All right. But if it's a cluster, as I say, that's so Viking World here is not just a single class. Right. That's 3 different modules. Right, so this is me saying I'm interested in these. That doesn't mean I'm necessarily committing to take all 3 or something. I'm just saying this is stuff that I want. So I could a crash course on Norse myths with Paul Peterson, which would be awesome. Old Norse sagas in translation. Oh, Njal Saga with Dr. Anderson. Very cool. And then Viking Hogwarts, a guide to Old Norse magic with Irina Manea, who's awesome. I got to meet Irina over in Germany when I was there, when I was in Stuttgart in October. It's October, yeah, 2 months ago now. But yeah, no, that was fun. She was telling me a little bit about this. She was recruiting me to take this class while we were like actually in a beer tent at Oktoberfest at an Oktoberfest beer tent in Stuttgart, Volksfest. It's not Oktoberfest technically there, but anyway, yeah, it's that's cool. So these sound great. So again, I'm not. This is, as you were saying, there's like a level of commitment here. Like I've got to choose the 5. Right. So and I'm saying by clicking these, I'm saying these are ones I'm really interested to take. I'm not paying anything yet. Right. I haven't like absolutely committed to it, but I'm saying I'm like, if you offer this, like, let me know and I'm ready. I'm hoping to take this.
Yes.
Yeah. And with these, like these might, would these necessarily be offered in this order? Like the Viking ones?
What we're trying to invite here through our clusters is a longer experience for those that are interested in, not like you can just take one of these, but they're all around a particular theme. So unlike some of our other series where we just maybe have one preceptor teaching the course, here's an example of several of our preceptors that are all teaching around the Viking world. Concept, and it's amazing. You can you can taste from more than one preceptor in our cluster sometimes with this. And so if you're really interested in a particular topic or theme, this is what we're inviting
Yeah.
folks to. Yeah.
Cool. Cool. Okay. All right. So I've made my short list and I have ordered them, right? So we have, and so that way this will help you when you're looking. So this basically, this means I've communicated to you, right? So now this and everybody else who makes their short list, now you're able to see everybody's short list, but you're not only just able to see number of votes, you would be able to see like, okay, maybe, I have Greek for Beginners as my number 1, but I have Sir Gawain and the Green Knight as my number 3, right? So if you've got you can use that to try to determine which one. So this is basically going to give you a lot of information to move some of our things from the concept status to the candidate status, right?
Right. And again, the message here is we're looking at help for February, specifically March and on, but even as soon as February, some of the choices here that our community makes in short lists can be offered as early as February if we can get enough interest. And so what people will see is if their short list has numerous others choose it, that particular course, they'll actually see a number showing like, we need, 3 more to be able to have this become a candidate.
Right. So I'll be able to tell by looking at this, if I come back and check, it'll be updated to show me like, hey, this is almost ready to go. Right.
Right. Exactly. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Because we only, what is it? I see it's up here. It says 10. We need 10 people. If 10 people put it on their short list, then we say, okay, let's officially make it a candidate. Let's put it out there.
Right. And another reason for that kind of 10 is what if you are in New Zealand, right? And the rest are all in the States or Canada, and so, or UK, wherever we know we're going to be working with a lot of different time zones here. Right. So we're looking for
right, because then that's the next step.
That's right.
When something is made a candidate, we say the days and times of that class, right? Like that's part of declaring it a candidate, is saying this is when it's going to be met. And so now, instead of guessing, right, now you will have, so if we get 10 people who want to do Greek for Beginners, then you would have my schedule and everybody else's schedule, right, who shortlisted it.
Because you will have filled out your Blackberry.
Because I will have filled out my time zone and availability thing, right, to maintain my solidarity with the Australians. And so you'll have that information. So based on that, on the information you have, you will make the schedule preferentially based on the availability of the people who've shortlisted it.
Absolutely. So again, this is our community helping us run these courses at times that work for those interested, right? Yeah. So it's really, we want to work with your time zones and availability and even the month of offer. So that's why I'm saying that this could be winter 2025, February, March, April, that kind of thinking. So as you're preparing your short list, if you really are busy and are aware, I probably can only take 2 courses, then really 2 courses should probably be on your short list, and maybe 2 or 3, depending on your interest there, and not just always choosing 5 just because the candy store element there. But
exactly. If all of these got candidated, I certainly could not take all 5. Right. So yes. Yeah, exactly. I might want to restrain myself perhaps a little bit and not learn Greek, Quenya, and Japanese all at the same time, in fact. Yes. Right. Yeah. Okay. So this, and it's funny, this is something that happens across Signum actually. We get this with our graduate program too, where people will send us emails and they just assume they'll come in and they'll be like, so I live in New Zealand, so, obviously I'm not going to be able to participate in your synchronous classes, but, and then they'll go on and ask if there's some other alternative or something. And we're like, wait. No, you can, or at least we hope you can. We'll try all that we can to make that happen. Most people don't even realize that taking their own personal availability into account is even a possibility, because it's not normally how things work. When you've got a schedule of synchronous courses, I've never seen another institution that has attempted to do something like this. I mean, normally if you have, you're teaching particular courses in a particular month, you just decree the schedule and let people sign up and they get what they get, right? But we don't do, but this new mechanism will make it much easier than ever before. And this is why it's so important for people, if you're familiar with SPACE already, or if you're brand new to it, why it's really important for you to understand about the Launchpad, because now you will be getting in on the ground floor of these classes. Your availability is the one that is going to be like in the small group of people who are chiefly determining what the schedule is for these classes.
Right.
So it's the answer to, why, like for people who live in Australia or people who sleep at strange times like me, how can I make sure that's such a special part of the SPACE program. It's enormously exciting. So, okay.
This has been a dream, honestly, from the beginning. When we first did the shortlisting, I've made Google Forms before and ask our student community to, choose your first, choose your second out of a big list. But it's just never been possible to do it through Blackberry like this until now. And I'm just so excited. We've wanted our community to be a part of this process. Again, you may just want to look at our enrolled courses and jump into what is already scheduled, or you might be part of that group that just says, I actually really have a complicated schedule, or whether you do or don't. Here, we're going to really hold that schedule and try to make it possible to launch courses in your short list based on your schedule. Yeah,
absolutely. And so, of course, you can filter these instead of scrolling all the way through. I forgot to do that, right? I can do, so just look at the general humanities ones, right? I can just look at the language ones. I can just look at the, academic mastery modules. Oh, sorry, that's a little teaser. We're going to be, I can't click on that one yet, but that's coming soon.
Yes.
yeah, that'll be next week. That'll be next week. We'll show you the academic mastery program and how that will fit in here, which will be awesome. Okay. So what happens then when something is now a candidate. So I've put Greek for beginners, and then everybody else who wants to study Greek with Dr. Swain.
Right. We have enough
shortlisters.
So what we'll then be looking at is all of your schedules,
right,
and trying to find working time with your group and the preceptor. And it may be that we can create more than one group of a particular course just because of where folks are located and when they're available. And so it might not just be one course.
Right. So you make one or two or more possibly
and
sections.
It's a candidate then. So these shortlisters have helped us create a candidate.
Okay. So since I shortlisted it, you guys would you'd send me a link directly to, because the next stage, so we've moved it from concept to candidate, and now we need to move it from candidate to confirm, because now it's a candidate because we know that a bunch of people are interested, right? But you still have to officially reserve your seat.
That's right. So we've already been communicating with this group. We've created a candidate at a schedule that works for you, and it goes back to that handshake we had, that commitment, that Blackberry agreement, but we've been working with you in the scheduling process to make that candidate. So yes, but then there's that stage where we'll provide you the candidate link, and you can then reserve a seat with your token. Yeah.
Okay. So let's see what that looks like. So I just clicked on the January 2025 options. So as we can see on the January 2025 list, there's a bunch that are already confirmed, right? These are the ones that are definitely happening. These are the ones that are in the enrolled list, right? If I scroll down to January, I can just click through and enroll straight away. So if I wanted to join Sparrow on her creative writing weekend retreat, which is awesome, right? I can here we go. I enrolled in it. Boom. That was it. It happened so quickly, I barely even noticed. So there we go. Right. So I can just do that. But again, I'm going to go back to January here. We can see that some of these are candidates still as well, which means they haven't been confirmed yet. So there's, we've had enough interest to suggest, that we should offer them. But we haven't yet got enough signups. So let me click on Pilar's art history class. So she's doing post-impressionism in January. Oh, it's launch ready now. Okay. Here we go. Oh, wait, I reserved a seat. Hang on. Let me undo that. There we go. So I'll do it again here in just a second. Okay, so this is what the page looks like, right? So this is a candidate page, right? So when one of the things that I shortlisted is made a candidate, then you'll send me a link to like a page like this, right? This is its candidate page.
Right.
Okay.
And so you're looking for that blue box then, right?
I'm looking for the blue box, right? So I see here's the whole the syllabus, right? It tells me the texts and it tells me the schedule, what we're going to be talking about throughout the month. I can see the schedule of when it's being offered, right?
Right.
So that's cool. So I got the whole calendar right there. So I see the whole thing. And now I just vote to reserve my seat. And when I click vote, that's when now a token is deducted from my token bank, right?
A token set aside.
Yeah. I set it aside. Yeah. Yeah. Because it's not deducted until the class starts, right?
It is deducted when we confirm this course. So it was a candidate.
It was a candidate, right? Of course.
Reserving of the seats.
Right.
Now we can launch this class. We can confirm this class. Exactly.
Right. Okay. So it's launch ready. So that means when you get up. So, but again, this is one of the other really cool new features. We used to have to do all this stuff behind the curtain, right?
Exactly.
People would vote, and then we would be like at some mysterious to everybody else point, be like, "Hey,
how close is this course? We don't know until
yes."
It's just,
there was like all this suspense. Whereas now it'll show us. So like this class only needs one vote, right? So if people, so like you have it in your power to confirm this class, like if you vote, right? And again, if we go back to January, we can see. Oh, look, it's a totally different page I accidentally went to. That's neat. A different view of January 2025.
The list view.
The list view. All right. Exactly. So if I go back to Dr. Barr's Aristotle's Poetics class, right? See, this one needs 3 more votes. So there we go. So again, this will, this way I can know how close it is to confirmation.
People are taken behind the curtain. The curtain is not there anymore.
That's right.
So you can see how close your particular candidate is.
Right. And that will be true, as you say, on the Launchpad as well. This isn't showing anything because we just started this. And so the short lists on my 5 here are still relatively small because we just launched it.
If you click on one, it'll just take you to the module page, giving you information about it. Or the card, I guess. Yeah,
the card and the page. Yeah.
And click on it, and that will have the whole information to help you know whether this is the one I want to shortlist for this kind of cycle, winter 2025. I want to shortlist this, but until we get enough interest on the shortlist, we won't create the candidate yet, which draws you to that page with the blue box where you can then set aside a token. Or reserve your seat to set aside
cool.
your spot. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So, right. But then when it gets shortlisted by a bunch of people, so like if 8 people have shortlisted Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, that'll show up on here. So people know only 2 more people needed for this. That's when I go out and find 2 friends who want to take Sir Gawain and the Green Knight with me, and then we can make it happen.
Exactly. Yeah. Spread the word. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
You have one of those concepts you want to see run, right?
Yeah.
That is the shortlisting stage.
Absolutely. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. And so then we go to the candidate pages as we were showing, and then the pages, and then it gets confirmed. There's still the enrollment process. This is a confirmed module beginning Japanese 11. And so more people can click to enroll to enroll in
right.
it, right?
Yeah. So again, it's always one token per space
Yep.
module.
One
So
token per space module.
rolling, it's already been confirmed. So again, if something has gone through all the stages from Launchpad to an actual candidate that has then been voted on where folks reserve their seat, well, that becomes confirmed, but it does not stop other people then from also being able to enroll in it,
Yeah.
just like this particular course is showing. Yeah.
Yes, they'd be too late to be involved in the process where they're determining the meeting time and everything like that, but it's not too late to enroll.
Yeah.
Right. So cool. So cool. Well, the Launchpad is pretty awesome. So yeah, very cool. Oh, one thing I almost forgot to invite people. We want to do a drawing to give away a space token
Yes.
to somebody.
Corey, yes, we do.
Let's do that. So I just posted a link in the chat to just a simple Google form to fill out. If you fill that out, we can do a drawing here this very evening, and we can give away a space token.
Yes, fill out the form, and then we will do a draw, and Jenny will be in touch with you to let the winner know you have won a space token.
That's right. That's right. And we will put that in your account. Great. So this is the space program is such a wonderful part of how we share joy with people at Signum. It's a big part of what we do. Of course, we're in the middle now of our annual fundraising campaign for Signum University, our annual fund campaign. And, for those of you, often people who are, who see these things and are watching these things are, interested to know how can I help? How can I support the program? And of course, you can go to signumuniversity.org/donate and make your donation to help to support our annual fund. As we are getting towards the end of the year, of course, to remind people that it is a tax-deductible donation. But in addition, another thing that you can do is just help to spread the word. We would love to share space with more and more people. We have a really wonderful group of folks who have been involved in our space program over the last 3 years. And our space program has been in a wonderful place. But Rob, I know when you designed these tools, you were designing these tools to accommodate many, many people. It's been part of our plan from the beginning. And this is something that's always been really important to us, is that we've been working to build a system that will be able to sustain and support and encourage as many people as want to learn. So continuing to grow our space program and to help other people to discover it, there are so many people who don't even realize how much fun you can have in learning the kind of things that are available. What we do in space is just so different from almost any educational program that most people don't even realize that it's a possibility. Yeah, I will paste the link in again there. It should go to everybody there, I think. Okay, good. Yeah, so it's in the chat there in YouTube as well as on Twitch. Anyway, so Rob, you have also developed a way to help people to discover to share space with folks, right?
Yeah. So if you go on your Blackberry page, Corey, just to your homepage,
right
at the top.
Okay, right. It's just clicked on the Blackberry up at the top. Yeah.
And so, yes, we have always showing this refer a friend section at the top. And we have a way that you can share Blackberry with a friend and then point them to space or the other programs that are here. And what you'll do is just click Get Referral Link. And a link will pop up.
Yep, there's my link. So it's already highlighted, so I just copy it. And obviously I know how to do this because this shows that 29 people have joined Blackberry using my referral link, which I know
That's
is
great.
nothing compared to your number, Rob, but I'm still, you can keep score, you can, and it's possible. We have talked about, uh, prizes and things for, because we do have those numbers. So, there could be at some point some bragging rights attached to to that. But anyway, okay, right. So if I just send that link to somebody, they'll then when they
What
sign up.
Mhm. It'll share the login or sign up for Blackberry.
Mhm.
But what happens is through that link, when they sign up, when they log into Blackberry for the first time, your account will always know that your two accounts will know each other. In
Right,
other words, yeah.
right.
So we'll know that you referred them, and yes. Now, there is a promotion going on, though, that we wanted to tell you about, and so it's in that second green box. It talks about the booster pack special, and so what this is, these are coupons that anyone now, while this promotion is on, and we're running it. We started it in November. We're running it through to the end of December. Uh, it allows anyone who signs up to Blackberry, they get a coupon that they can redeem for one token at $75. It's actually $100 off.
Hmm.
If you were to just go buy one space token, it you save $100 just by it being your first class ever. You log into Blackberry. Now this is whether you referred or not. You were referred or not. Uh, Anyone who signs up to Blackberry now has this coupon available for the promotion. But it gets better than that. Also, for our regular students, if you refer someone and they log into Blackberry, they will have the coupon, a booster pack coupon, which they can redeem for a $75 token. But if you referred them after they purchase their first token pack, whether it's one or more tokens, you will get a booster pack for that referral. And so please share your referral link with friends, family. Share about what you've loved about space. We really, it's really through our community that we have grown. It's through sharing the joy together of how much we have enjoyed these courses, these kind of dream modules that we've been able to take. And so just letting others know, share that link, tell them what you've enjoyed about space, and help us share joy. But we just wanted to make it easier to give you a boost. That's why we called it the Booster Pack Special. We wanted to help boost new folks into space and also our regular folks as they share the joy with others. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Very good. All right. Well, I know we've gone a little bit long here, so we should let people go soon. Let me do our drawing, and we can give away a free token. I'm drawing my opening my dice drawer here, where I keep my dice in my desk drawer, so I can roll my dice here. Okay. Very good. And the winner is Annie Fosberg, in fact. There you go. Annie, congratulations.
You will see
Congratulations.
+1 in your account.
Very good.
Now you can vote on that second module you wanted to take.
Excellent. Very good. Well, thank you, everybody. Rob, thank you for all of the work that you have done on this. I am so excited to see these new options available. I am excited to see where our community goes with these these new ways for them to be involved in this process, and for us to be making sure that we are offering people just exactly what they want to learn.
We just love our students and our preceptors. It's just it's been a marvelous community that it's now 3 years on growing, and it has been a joy, and we could not do it without you. So thank you for joining us, whether it's live or watching by video. We're very excited about the Launchpad, and just again, please go and shortlist the courses you want to see in winter 2025. We'll be looking at those now through the end of December, and after when we're into the new year, you can go and see what you've helped launch for February and on. So Thank you so much for joining us today.
Wonderful. Thank you, everybody. And we will see you around space. Thanks, everybody. Bye now.